dream. We were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor of the Bowery, and I was high enough. I've been drowning in you, lost in the...
So our pool was built in the early 80s, and as you can see too, they have done a wonderful job trying to keep everything up to date, very modern, and you wouldn't even expect this to be as old as it actually is, but they have done a wonderful job trying to make sure that everything is very well up to date and very clean. We have gotten new backstroke flags before. We have gotten new starting blocks, which you can see with the covers on right now. But brand new starting blocks with the scoreboard, with the lane lines. They even put in a new gutter system and drop down lighting over these years as well. So they've done a phenomenal job with our pool itself. And with our pool, as you can see, it is a 6-lane pool, and the one way is going short course yards while the other way is going short course meters. As you can tell, we train mostly in short course yards, but with that too, we have 2, sometimes 3 afternoon practices where we split the team up, and that way you get more one-on-one attention, making sure that Andy and myself are able to help with the spreading out as much as we can. So it really has been great with this type of facility, and if you ever take a look at our pool records, we definitely get it done very well in this pool too. Our pool stands, seats about 200, 250, and for our home meets, it's loud, it's noisy, it's a lot of fun. Because we're right on the pool deck and cheering everyone on too. For our home meets, we fill the stands almost every single time, so it's wonderful to have. And with this pool facility, we do have our dual meets, but for our larger meets, we can host that either just at a high school for about 10 minutes away from us, or at Krakow Center, which is just less than a half hour away from us as well, for our bigger meets. You're able to have the training over here, and this is where we start most of our practices. But over in front of my office there is where we do most of our dry lands. And as you can see, the diving well, thankfully with the divers, there's no interference between the swimmers and the divers when it comes to practicing, at least very minimal for that matter, but it's very nice having our own separate zones, and we're still able to come together as a family and bring that team together. So this here is our pool. So this here is our trophy room, as we always like to say too, kind of our bragging grounds as well. We have so many different types of trophies here too. Just behind me, we have all the first place national championship trophies, and they're not all in this trophy case as well. Some of them are over in the football center as well. We now have 28 national championship titles under Grand Valley itself. And then all of these trophies here are the Director's Cups. And the Director's Cup is awarded to the best overall sports program in the entire country at Division I, Division II, and Division III. And so we have won these trophies, I'd say about 14 times now in the past 20 years. Even over the span of COVID when they didn't award them as well. So as you can tell, they are supportive in all sports, swimming and diving. Thankfully, we are in an institution that supports their athletics. Instead of cutting programs, they are adding programs, and it's fantastic to have that type of support here in the athletic administration. On both walls, adjacent for me as well, are all the GVSD trophies. And with all the GVSD trophies, it's just really cool to see them all. In fact, we had to add on to our trophy room because a lot of our GVSD trophies were downstairs in storage. So they added another trophy room where you'll see all the 2nd through 4th place finishes at NCAAs as well. As to date, our highest our men have ever been is 4th at national championships, and our women is 5th. And 1st through 4th place gets trophies to bring back home. So as you can tell, we are definitely always fighting to be in the top 10, if not top 5, and even bring home a trophy at the national level. And with GVSD being that with our conference, we're always hoping to win each year, and these are obtainable goals. Our men right now are on a great streak for winning their GVSD championships, and if you win, you get a nice, cool, free ring as well. But yeah, you'll see as well that just the types of trophies, the GVSD trophies, and how they've changed over the years. You'll also see in the middle of those trophies the President's Cup, and that's the best overall sports program in our conference. And we have won that years and years consecutively as well. And the cool thing about this too is that our program had started pretty much right before 2000, because as you can see, this is our first Directors Cup in 2003. But before the year 2000, we had no national championship trophies, we had no Directors Cups, we didn't even have any second through fourth place finishes at NCAAs. And now just to see everything come in fruition of how much we were able to get that program up and running and continue to be a successful program too. So, yep, this is our bragging grounds, and off to the other corner too are all of our individual national champions as well. And you'll see some of our swimmers and divers in there too, like Leonie Van Noort, Kayla Nelson, Michaela Karasek. We have Grayson Seagard with our divers there. We have Aaron Beebe, we have Johnny Ferrero and Harry Shalaman. So we have multiple different national champions, and we are always looking to obviously get more each year too. So fingers crossed, we'll keep working on it and keep doing our best.
Young money. Talking in my sleep at night, making myself crazy.
Alright, so this is our arena here. As you can tell, this is where we're going to have our volleyball games, our basketball games. So the really great thing too about our team, I know many of you ask if we have that good family atmosphere and how much do we support other people. And thankfully, you know, we have a lot of our athletes coming into these volleyball games and basketball games and cheering on other teams, not just ourselves. So it's really fantastic that we're able to have this type of good facility to have when it comes to other games here. Also, other places that other things that take place here is that concerts take place, usually once a semester, usually one country singer and one alternative rock or some type of rap artist as well, as far as concerts go. So it's always fun to see the whole line of students being able to get in here. But also downtown Grand Rapids, we have the Van Andel Arena, and there's concerts happening there weekly, so many different concerts too. So there's always fun stuff to do here, or at least around here, and it's always good to have these type of facilities as well. We used to also have the indoor track in this facility, but they built a new indoor track facility too, which we'll show you here in a minute. And so because what they did is that they made this more arena-like, and they put in 2 other basketball courts off to each side, and they were able to kind of lengthen it out a little bit more for more training for the basketball and volleyball teams and all that fun stuff too.
Got a whole lot of new money though.
So this is our weightlifting room. As you can see, it is still very well upkept, very clean. They keep adding more equipment to it as well. And with this weight room too, we are allowed to be in here just with our team at each specific time. So we don't have any overcrowding in here at all. With our weight room too, I always like to pair you up with other lifting partners, other swimmers and divers that can lift to similar ability. And we do have our own strength and conditioning coach, along with my experience as well, and putting that together, we're able to put the best experience for you guys in the weight room here too. So with this weight room, when I first got hired in, this is a completely new renovated type of weight room. New flooring, new walls, everything is just new in here. In fact, behind me, they even punched a hole through the wall into one of the old racquetball rooms, and as you can see, there's some more equipment back there as well. So there's a lot of stuff to do here in this weight room, and thankfully there are enough stations where we ourselves are never overcrowded as well. So when it comes to weightlifting, usually this follows our morning practice in the morning, usually from 7 to 7:45 in the morning, give or take a few minutes. So that way you're ready and able to go to your first class for the morning. So we are in here the entire season, except for the first few weeks. We don't want to put everything right up front in the beginning as far as training wise. So after the first few weeks of season, we'll start being in here a little bit more too. And with our freshmen, I always like to take them about a week before and show them some of the common lifts and show them how to do it properly and to see how much that they can lift, so that way I can put you with the best partners that are on the team, so that way they have multiple sets of eyes on them as well. But After season, we're only allowed to practice 8 hours a week per NCAA rules, so we use all 8 hours in the pool. So what we go ahead and do is we still create weightlifting workouts for everyone if they wish to do it on their own, and then they can go to the rec center. And the rec center is definitely state of the art. They added on to that facility as well back in 2016. And there's so many different areas that you can be doing your workout. There's one section for cardio, one section for weightlifting, one floor with stationary weights, and another floor above that with machine weights as well. So there's a lot to do in that rec center, and that's usually what takes place during our off season. And our off season usually takes place from March until the end of April. So between 4 to 8 weeks of off season. And that way you're able to still do the best that you can at our facility while you're still taking classes too. Most of our classes end at the end of April, and then most of our athletes go home and train with their club too. But that's besides the point. So this is our weight room. So like I mentioned, state of the art. Again, they keep updating everything here on campus. Not just the pool, but everything. Everything looks so modern. Even the living quarters, it looks phenomenal here. So yeah.
Please say it ain't true. I had to go and cop to her. Now we can't fit that. You're taking up a fraction of my mind. You're giving me that good shit that makes me not that good shit.
Oh nah nah, just be careful nah nah. Love ain't simple nah nah. Promise me no promises.
So this is our Kelly Turf Arena here, and as I mentioned, in the arena, that is where our old indoor track used to be, but this is now where our current one is here. It is open to all students. All you need to do is just swipe your ID and you're able to use this anytime as well. We are in here a few times throughout the season. Usually in the first week, instead of doing standard drylands on the pool deck, we actually just have some fun and play some kickball, ultimate frisbee, and soccer. So we're out here on these fields here. And we're also out here during our team builder event. We have other activities. We do icebreakers, all sorts of stuff to do out here on the turf as well. As you can see above me, you can see all the nets that they can be split into different sections. So there's a lot to actually do here too, but we are only in here just a few times during the beginning parts of the season too. In frame of reference, with our pool, it is just across the street from here, thankfully, and I'm right here at the main entrance. So our pool is just right across the street, only about maybe 100 feet away from here. And then over through the windows that you can see through here is our football stadium. And our football stadium has the largest Jumbotron in Division II across the country, and they do a bunch of fun stuff with that too. We do family nights, or even bringing all the students back on campus. They throw a movie up there on the Jumbotron too. But with our football stadium itself, again, it gets very loud, very rowdy. Our football stands are filled up all the time. Remind me, 12,000 seating?
Oh, I do.
You're the tour guide.
I know, I do. I just landed the largest Jumbotron in D2.
Yeah, true.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Our football stadium seats over 10,000, and it is standing room only for almost every single home game that we have here too. So with that being in mind, it's definitely really nice that it's right across the well, not across the street, but it's right outside the turf arena here too. And sometimes other teams come in here on rainy days, but usually that doesn't interfere with us too much. Thankfully, when it comes to our team building events too. And below here, there's other yoga rooms. We also like to use yoga for right before we are tapering for our big meets. We also hire a spin instructor, and we're in a spin classroom where we're on the bikes with music and with the lights going on too. It's really fun. Andy and I, we always try to get in on the back seats as well and do our little workout with them too. So it's always kind of nice to hear other coaching strategies from someone that's aside from some coaches too. But here you have it.
Darling, just hold on.
So right now I'm in Kinchi Hall of Science, one of the latest academic buildings to be built on this campus. So it's very much state of the art. It holds all our organic sciences and all those such departments. So you will find molecular science, biology and so forth all happening in here. A lot of people that do this major do find themselves taking majority of their classes within this building itself only. This building down behind me on your left side, you're actually going to have all your case rooms. So those rooms are about 40 to 50 people fitting inside of them in a really nice and new built-in environment, which is a really cool area to be in because it just doesn't feel like the typical style of classroom, which is really nice. On the right side of the halls, you're actually going to have all your labs and such. So that's where you go if you have a lab for a class and such, which is once again really new area to be in and really state-of-the-art operations taking place all inside of them. With this building as well, it does go 4 floors high and it also has a greenhouse attached to it, which is really cool. Students can work in that greenhouse or just go and tour it if they are curious about it. In terms of classrooms as well, as Eric mentioned, that the average class size at Grand Valley is 26. 90% of students are in a class that is 40 below, which is a really cool statistic to have. I personally do strive in an environment where it's a smaller class environment and students are more easily able to have discussions and such. With being a larger school but having a much smaller classroom size, professors do promote a lot more classroom discussion, so you will find yourself, rather than just reading a lecture and writing it down, actually putting your 2 cents in every time a professor asks a question or asks you to answer how you feel about that topic and such, which is a really cool thing to have. We do have 3 lecture halls on campus and they do max out at 120 people each. It is pretty rare to have a class in that. I dare say students will have 1 to 2 classes in that lecture hall in their lifetime at Grand Valley. Otherwise, all classrooms will be about 30 students below, unless you're in a case room or in that lecture hall.
Script looking like it been flipping that. Pull up in that for my car. Whole squad getting that. Please say it ain't.
So right now we are in the marketplace, which is connected to the Kinchi Hall of Science. Right behind me you do have the Laker store, which offers all Laker merchandise as well as being part of the bookstore too. You'd find the bookstore located on the 2nd floor. Otherwise all your merchandise will be on this 1st floor. To the left of me right here you do have Starbucks and also Bento Sushi, which is just new this year. Otherwise you will find other eating places on campus all around. We will show you a few more too. With these places, they do take dining dollars or credit debit card. All of campus doesn't take cash, so you do have to be aware of that depending on where you are. Otherwise, you will probably find yourself heading around this area in the future. I'm right behind the Student Services building, which inside you will find things like the Laker Experience Suite, records and registration, so a place that will take care of your transcripts and financial aid as well. The 2nd floor will have the Career Center, so they'll help you everything career related. So in terms of getting a resume fixed up and prepared, a cover letter, thank you notes, and actually doing mock interviews with you as well, which is a really great resource. On the 2nd floor next to that Career Center, you're going to have the Therapy Center. So if you do need to go and have counseling or anything related, you can go up there and they will take care of you, and it is completely for free, which is really good. Right behind me is one of our most iconic places on campus. You will find the Student Services Fountain and also the Cook Carolyn Tower right behind me, which rings every 15 minutes, and then also on the hour every hour, which is really cool.
You represent things year after year, and you give the youth love beyond compare. You find the school fee and the bus fare. It so hurts. It so hurts. Mama, don't stress
Pew Library and Learning Commons. This is one of the areas on campus you'll find a lot of students coming to study, even relax, read a book, and so many other things to do in here. So this building is very new. It was built in 2013. It has a lot of the state-of-the-art standards embedded into the building. So it is LEED certified. You'll find this building doesn't actually have a lot of bookshelves and everything like that on all the floors. We actually have employed a system called the ASRS, and it's an automatic book retrieval system, and it's actually in the wall right next to me. It goes 4 stories deep into the ground, it's temperature controlled, and holds up to 600,000 books. I always compare it to the machine from Monsters Inc. that takes the doors around, so it's a really cool machine to have. You won't actually find many libraries in the world having this kind of a system in it, which is really cool. Otherwise, you will find there's a lot of areas in the library to just sit down, relax. It's a lot more encouraged to sit down, talk with people, do group projects and everything. You won't get shushed as much either. In terms of being in quiet rooms as well, we do have 2 of them in this library. There's one on the 3rd floor and one on the 2nd. The one on the 3rd floor actually has Michigan's largest fireplace as well, so this library keeps cracking records, which is really cool. Up on the 2nd floor behind me, you will have the Knowledge Market. The Knowledge Market is an area where you can take any body of writing that you have, and they will sit down with you and go through it with you very intensely just to make sure it's really good. And there's pretty much that final draft before submitting it to a professor. So you could be in a bio class taking a bio report up there even. It doesn't just have to be an essay of sorts, which is really cool. You'll find we have Mac computers and PC computers, so you can go to whatever you do enjoy, or you can bring your own computer, sit down and plug it in. There's options everywhere to do such, which is really, really cool. In terms of the swim team, you will find a lot of swimmers in here sitting down. You'll see them coming together as well, sitting down to study. And in finals week, we do have private rooms in this library, and you can book them out. And during that week, you will have 1 or 2 swimmers book out 1 or 2 rooms, and you will have swimmers all come together once again and studying in those rooms just for a quieter area, which is really cool. It's just nice to see the team camaraderie go a lot further than just a pool. So yeah.
So right now I'm standing on top of the library itself, definitely one of my personal favorite spots in the entire campus itself. But I thought this would also be a good time to show you, the rest of the campus too. The nice thing about our campus is that everything that was built, they did a very smart job building it all together. On one section over here, you have all the athletics on this side. You have our own 18-hole golf course. You have the softball and baseball fields. You also have lacrosse, soccer, track and field. That over there with the white rooftop is the indoor turf that we were just in earlier. You also have the rec center. This building over here is going to be your science center, the Kinshee building, and then just behind that is where the pool is. Then everything over on this side too, kind of in the middle of campus, is going to be more of all your academic classes, and then on the other side of that is where most people live. So going from one end of the campus to the other is only about a 15-minute walk itself. But just looking here, this is definitely one of my favorite scenes. Especially during the fall time, you'll be able to see all the leaves change here. But here in Michigan, we do get all 4 seasons, but it is very beautiful all 4 seasons, spring, summer, fall, and winter as well. So it really is just a beautiful campus. And as you can see, they have done a wonderful job trying to keep everything up to date, everything modern. You can see here on this rooftop and even rooftops off to the side, you have greenery growing, and that helps support with the you have you have greenery growing, which helps support the insulation, so it keeps things warmer, it keeps the air conditioning in a little bit more too. So just everything around in this campus, they have done a phenomenal job making sure that they are keeping everything up to date and very modern, very clean too. But as you can see, this is definitely one of my viewpoints throughout the whole campus too.
Krakow Center. This is kind of known as the student union building of the campus. So you're going to see a lot of clubs, events, and organizations taking place in this very building right here. Just a few little things right behind me you can actually see is Java City Coffee, another place where you can go and use dining dollars, debit, credit card, or Apple Pay. there is also the lobby shop. So you'll see about 9 of these locations on the campus. They are places that you can go to and use your dining dollars or Apple Pay, debit, credit card, and so forth. And that is where you're just going to go and pick up the general necessities such as candies, drinks, fruits, breakfast bowls, just the random little things that you sometimes might want to go and grab quickly. So over to the left of me, you actually are going to have a Panda Express and Subway. Both of them are part of the meal plan. So just a little bit on the meal plan, you are going to have a fair few different opportunities to reach out and look at the different meal plans. You can actually go to GVSD Dining and check out all the meal plan opportunities that you can go and reach out to if you're wanting to look at the different ones. The one I personally do go on is the 14 meal plan. That means 14 meals a week with $300 dining dollars attached to it. So that allows me to go to 14 different locations throughout that week, or it could be the same 14 locations, all depending on what you're looking for. And you can also use your dining dollars at places like Java City Coffee. You can also use your dining dollars if you want to buy a meal in case you do run out of meals. So a common issue that we do come across is that you use all 14 meals up during the week and it's a Saturday night and you're like, dang, I really want some food. That's when you can go and pay the 7, 8, 9, 10, even 11 dining dollars that meal might cost. Otherwise, if you do not use all your meals in the week, say you use 13 and Sunday hits, that 14th that you didn't use, it just cancels out, it's gone. So we always do encourage to try and get all those meals in to get that bang for your buck, which is really nice. A common meal plan for those swim team members to go on is the Unlimited. So the Unlimited is a really great one. It allows you to go Unlimited Fresh, which is a meal place on campus that is an all-you-can-eat buffet. It's definitely a swim team favorite, and I can definitely say the employees agree. So it is really nice there. And then with those other meals, you get 10 meals anywhere else on campus besides Fresh. So that means you can use your meals at Panda Express, Subway, and a few other locations if you so desire. But otherwise, Unlimited Fresh allows you to go into Fresh 10, 11 times a day if you so wanted to, which is really cool. Other parts of this building, up to the end to the right, you're going to have a lot of resources. So you're going to have women, gender and equity, veteran affairs, multicultural affairs, and so forth. Up the other end of this hall to the left, you're going to have student life and the campus activities board, all places that are looking out for the general student well-being, which is really cool. Upstairs, you'll find a lot of rooms where students will go to and meet up and collaborate with each other. That might be through clubs or that might be through organizations. Currently, the main area I am in right now is the general hall where students do walk through a lot, and you'll see a lot of different things being put up here throughout the weeks and so you might see a different organization promoting themselves over here and then another one around just here. So it's a really cool little area to go into. In front of me over in this area, you will have the fun area, we like to call it. It's kind of the games room. You do have foosball, table tennis, pool, there's a big screen theater and PlayStations and Xboxes. So students love going in there, all free to play, which is really cool. So you just can go in and start playing, watching movies. Every second Saturday they premiere a new movie and you get free drinks and popcorn with that as well, which is a really fun thing to go and do. Also up here, one of the biggest resources on campus is the 2020 info desk. They are just purely there for the student to help you, and that entails things like finding that building you can't find or finding that room you can't find. Maybe you're trying to check out what different activities are happening on campus. So we do have a fall disco, which is a really cool thing. It is a silent disco and it's all free to go to, and they can tell you more information about that. Downtown Grand Rapids has a cool winter festival and art festival, so you can find out more information from them about that as well. So this building is really designed just for that student, which is why everybody loves hanging out here. And you will see a lot of the swim team members once again studying here, even grabbing food or just literally hanging out and just talking with each other and catching up. So this is the Krakow Center, definitely a place to hang out when you do come.
I can see it in your eyes, cause they never tell me lies. I can feel that body shake and the heat between your legs.
If we go down, then we go down together. They'll say you could do anything. They'll say that I was clever.
Monday to Sunday, it's never too late. So everyone say we don't wanna stop.
Right now I'm in the Great Lakes Plaza. This is actually one of the first areas built on campus when this campus was built in the 1960s. So behind me we have the Great Lakes Halls. So each hall in this area is named after a Great Lake. So at the very end behind me you have Lake Michigan. To the next to that you're going to have Lake Ontario, Lake Superior, and then there's also Lake Huron. To the very right of me right now we've also got Osable Hall. Every building in this area does have a different department like located inside of that part. So that means you might find yourself having classes in these buildings more often than not, but sometimes you might have one or two or maybe none at all. It just all depends on that major you're looking at and whatever you're interested in with classes. Right next to me here is kind of the infamous transformational link. This is kind of known as the bad luck charm of the campus. Every campus has one. This is ours. It's known to not walk under it as an undergraduate student. When you graduate, it's said that you can walk through this portion of the structure, and that allows you to say that you have completed your studies with Grand Valley, therefore completing the structure. If you were to see up here, it does look unfinished, so it's said that you're the finishing component of this part, which is a really cool little thing. Up behind me here you do have Zumberg Hall. It is the old library. Now it's kind of the behind the scenes of Grand Valley's campus. You will find the president's office inside there. The Title IX goes out of there, and so many other different departments, human resources and everything. Places that a student wouldn't often go into and see. This part of the building does actually offer a lot of student employment jobs if you were interested, so that is something that you can definitely look at, which is really cool. But otherwise it's kind of something you would walk past and see. In front of me I should say here, you are going to have the Arboretum. The Arboretum is kind of the nature reserve area of the campus. Really cool, students go in there, hammock, there's seating, Wi-Fi reaches all the points inside there, and there's all trails going through it as well. It's just a really cool area to go and hang out with friends during those warmer months, and professors have also been known to take classes out there, I should say, and teach the class from this area just to kind of take the learning to a new level, which is a really cool thing. Just something that Grand Valley does that's different and unique, which is like something that I personally really enjoy myself. So right now I'm in the Mackinac Hall Quad area, which right behind me you actually see the Fresh Food Company, which is that all-you-can-eat fresh meal option, which is a really cool place to go. So you will find the swim team there every morning and every night, which is one of the fun things about being on the swim team at GV, and it's one of my personal favorite things as well. So you will see us all having dinner and all having breakfast together, and once again it's all that team camaraderie that you wouldn't otherwise see with many other teams around. With this Mackinac Hall Quad area, to my right you've got the whole Mackinac area of the building. You will have a bunch of different classes taking place in there between the likes of business, philosophy, mathematics, statistics, and so forth. It's kind of known as the Beast building of the campus. There's 4 wings, so there's A, B, and C and D are on the other side of that again. So it is definitely a building you'll want to check out if you do have classes in there before the class begins.
So as you can tell, with our pool facilities, there is a lot under this roof and a lot within a close region as well. And it's fantastic because everything is very close, so that way you don't have to travel too far. So some of the other things that we didn't quite go over, for instance, our athletic trainers. They are right in the basement, right next to where the pool is. So we have our one specific athletic trainer that works for our team, but there's multiple other trainers, and we have a head trainer as well. So if they are ever occupied, there are other trainers that they can go to. Most of our trainers help out during our home meets, and if they are ever in need after practices or before practices. But thankfully, our trainers, we have a very injury preventative type of program, and so our trainers do a fantastic job with that. Along with our practices, we want to make sure that there's no shoulder injuries or any other type of injuries for that matter. So thankfully, our trainers are mostly there for if you need any ice baths or some heating pads, or they even do STEM as well. So that's also kind of fun too. But anyway, that's one of the other areas. Another area around here too, we have our Lakers Student Success Center, which is with 2 full-time counselors. Another thing that we have here is our Lakers Student Success Center with full-time counselors and other graduate assistants. And they're there to help just student athletes only. And they're there for multiple reasons, but one of the biggest ones is to ever set you up with a tutor if you ever need a tutor, and it would be free for you as well. And if you ever qualify to be a tutor, more than likely they would hire you and pay you for it too, which is really nice, and that's just down the hall from us too. And then one of everyone's favorites is the Laker Fuel Hub. I like to think of it as a little snack shack, but you get little snacks that are free for you every day. You can go in there, there's pre-workout, post-workout, all types of bars, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, bananas, chocolate milk, all sorts of fun snacks that you get free for each day. All you do is you should just show them your ID, tell them what sport you're with, and you get your free snack. So again, everything here is in very close quarters, making sure that you never really have to travel too far to get the resources that you need. One thing we always like to say is that with the Division II school, we have Division I type of amenities, that we have so many different resources that we can pull that is very similar to Division I schools, but we have that Division II type of small school feeling too. As I'm sure you'll see in the other class video, it is an average class size of 26. And so just having that big school look, but with a small school feeling is absolutely wonderful. So hope you enjoyed this video, and hope to talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.